What's happening, guys? Back at you with another video. So in this video we're going to be talking about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So I'm just going to give my thoughts and my review on this movie. Just overall, that's what this video is about. So let's go and get started. The first thing I want to say is that this movie was dealt a terrible hand. It really was. Like, just the things it had to overcome to be able to make this movie and be able to come out, because before the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, this script and the story, everything was done. It was ready to be filmed. I think the story and the whole script and everything was ready, written out. It was ready to be start filming pretty soon after. And then that's when we got the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. So they basically had to go and rewrite the script and rewrite the story and all that, because of the tragic because of his tragic passing. And first off, that's a terrible hand to deal with. One thing. Then we get the terrible pandemic going on, and they literally had to film during the pandemic. With all the just everything going on during the pandemic and just having to film, and they actually stopped production a couple of times too because of the pandemic, people being able to people getting it, and also to Letitia Wright had an injury, so they had to stop production again. And it, like, at first, whenever I was hearing about the delays and them having to stop a few times, I literally thought that this movie wasn't going to make it by its November release. But they somehow were able to pull it off and be able to release it on time for its November release. And I just gotta say, this movie's amazing. It really is. Uh, Considering that what the things they had to deal with and everything, they turned out such an amazing movie. Like, honestly, it was such an amazing movie. Um, like uh, Going into this movie, I didn't really know what to expect. I was kind of expecting a sort of tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Seeing how they were able to deal with that, seeing how they were able to, have this tribute to him, seeing how they were able to continue on the story of Black Panther without their main character of T'Challa and all that. So, like, I was kind of interested in seeing what they're able to do, going into the movie. That opening scene um, really hit hard because it pretty much shows what they did with the story, like, story wise, with the character of T'Challa. They show you what happened, or show you what they were going to do to write him off of the story, you know. And then that tribute with the Marvel Studios intro, where it was just nothing but filled with Chadwick Boseman scenes, and the purple and all that. Like, it really hit hard. Honestly, it hit hard. And just this tribute to him, and then in the beginning we get the tribute to him where it's like the funeral and just everything like that. Like, it hits you hard. It really hits you hard right out of the gate in the beginning. It really hits you hard. Uh, so it was a very nice tribute. Honestly, it was a very nice tribute to him, and seeing that was honestly amazing and pretty good. And going on in the movie, I was wondering, like, how, like, what the story's going to be. Um, Going into hearing about things, they said the story was, of course, they changed the story because of his passing and all that. But it was always going to include Namor, and it was basically going to be taking place after the snap, whatever. It's going to be dealing with the tragedy of that, and just things that he had to deal with after the snap and stuff like that. So going to this movie, I was wondering what the story was going to be. Introducing a new character of Namor, um, who's sort of a villain, sort of an anti-hero of sorts. So I was interested in seeing what they're able to do with his character and all that. And then dealing with, having to have a new Black Panther come in, um, pretty much Shuri taking over the mantle of Black Panther. What is the story behind that? How are they going to develop that and all that? So I think, honestly, they did an amazing job when it comes to Shuri. Letitia Wright really stepped it up in this movie. Um, as the character of Shuri, she really stepped it up acting wise and all that, and feeling the her grieving. She basically throughout the movie she basically goes through the different stages of grief, and you see that and you feel it in her performance and her acting. And I gotta say it was amazing. Honestly, it was amazing on her part, and just seeing her become the Black Panther, like throughout the movie, it's not like they just shove the mantle of Black Panther on her. You really see her going through the different stages of grief throughout the movie, and you see by the time she gets the Black Panther mantle, you really see her progression throughout the movie and see how she earns that mantle of Black Panther. It wasn't just given to her; she really earns it throughout the movie. You see her progression throughout the movie; she really just earns it. I like how they did her story. Honestly, was amazing how they did that. I just like the progression and the story throughout the movie to where she earns the mantle of Black Panther. And I gotta say, I gotta give props to Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett put on a phenomenal performance in this movie. Honestly, there's been a lot of buzz and been a lot of talk, and I kind of agree that if she needs to get nominated, at least nominate for, I guess maybe it'll be Best Supporting Actress, considering her role in the movie. I guess that would be like the one she'll be nominated for. But honestly, she put on a phenomenal performance, and honestly, I really do agree with people saying that she should at least get nominated um, for an award. And it was a phenomenal performance. Just the emotion and the things that you feel like throughout this movie, just the things you feel with her, given her performance and like the one scene that she has where with Okoye, where she strips Okoye's ranking as general, and you feel that performance, just this speech that she gives, talking about loss, talking about losing her family, her family's not with her, and all that stuff. Like phenomenal. She was phenomenal in this movie. I gotta say, I gotta give props to Angela Bassett. She was phenomenal in this role, and gave an amazing performance. She really did. Honestly, it's amazing. I really do believe that she should be nominated. I gotta say, bringing in this character of Namor, how they pronounce it in the movie Namor, um, honestly was great. Tanaka Huerta had an amazing performance as Namor, and I thought he really was uh, pretty great in the movie. Like he comes like basically he's like the villain of the movie, but the way that they show his character and the way he is, like it makes you have this feeling like he's not really bad. It's just like he's doing this for his people. Like you see, whenever Shuri's with him and he takes her on a tour around the kingdom and Tolokan, and just showing her around and stuff like that. You see his love for his people, and you see how he just they look up to him as the god. They look up to him as a god, um, and they call him the god, a god Kuku Khan, like just they look up to him as a god, and his love for his people, and he all he wants to do is protect his people and all that stuff, and you feel that in his performance and you feel that in the movie. And I just gotta say it's amazing on his part acting that out and being able to make us believe and make us be able to feel compassionate about it, like sympathetic towards him on what he's trying to do necessarily with his people and all that, and protect them and all that. Like the things he does in this movie is for his people and stuff, and you feel that compassion, you feel sympathetic towards his cause on what he's trying to do. So I gotta say, give it up to his performance of being able to bring that across with this character of Namor, and he did pretty great job. He did a pretty great job with his performance and all that. And moving on to the new character introduction of Riri Williams, Ironheart. I thought she was fine. She was fine in the movie. Having her parts in there, bits parts in there. Basically, the plot, at least some of the plot of the movie, kind of revolves around her, where she's makes this device that's able to find vibranium. So, like the beginning part of the first act probably is about finding her and being able to protect her and stuff like that, and kind of dies down in the middle a little bit, and then she comes back kind of in the third act where she has her new Ironheart suit that she built, and she's at being able to help out and balance stuff like that. So I thought Riri Williams in this movie was fine as a character. Being having that little introduction to her until we are able to get her Disney Plus series. So I thought she was fine. I thought she looked like she was having fun and stuff like that, and she was just a fun character in the movie. I think the rest of the cast did an amazing job in this movie too. Like, especially when it came to the tribute to Chadwick Boseman parts. Like, you feel the emotion, you feel each character and each actors, actresses, all the cast. You feel their emotion when it came to, you know, that tribute to Chadwick Boseman, that tribute to the character of T'Challa, and having the funeral scenes and stuff like that. And throughout the movie, the whole thing that's going on, the whole cast did an amazing job. Um, so I gotta give it to them. They did an amazing job. Just feeling their performances and feeling their emotion behind it, and they did such an amazing job with everything. Like, this movie kind of was, I just, it doesn't feel super long. Like, I didn't made it, I don't think it felt super long. I mean, I guess you kind of feel the time, like it is kind of long. It's a little under 3 hours, so you kind of feel it. But honestly, they kept kind of a tight story. It has its flaws, and there's a couple of things in there. But other, like, they kept a pretty good tight knit story. One of the things I'll probably say that felt a little unnecessary was the scenes between Ross and Val. Um, they felt a little unnecessary. I understand what they're trying to do. If that's what they're trying to do, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to world build. Give little hints to things that could come in the future. It didn't, to me, it didn't really feel necessary in this movie. Like, if you're trying to make this just a plain Black Panther movie, their scenes didn't feel necessary in the movie. And I get what they're trying to do, but they just felt a little unnecessary, and it really kind of digressed it as far as the story goes to having their scenes in there and all that. So uh, I'm not really complaining too much about it, because, like, I like the movie overall. I'm not really complaining about it, but if I had to say a flaw or unnecessary stuff, I would say their scenes were unnecessary. But I understand what they're trying to do as far as like world building and giving little hints to things in the future. Like, I understand all that, but just unnecessary scenes when it came to them. Like, one thing I want to talk about, one thing I was not expecting, and the way they were doing this movie, and just really talking about the tribute to Chadwick Boseman and the character of T'Challa. Silence plays a big part in this movie, or moments of silence play a big part of this movie. Like, in the beginning, when we get the Marvel Studios intro, like we do in every movie, like I said, they show the scenes of Chadwick Boseman, and it was silence, just a silence, and you just hear, like, in the theater too, it was just complete silence, and it just hits you. That silence hits you, and then going to the end, where Shuri is finally getting to that point of moving on past his death and all that. She does the ritual that they do after funerals, and seeing her starting to move on from that, and it's just silence. All you hear is silence, and you hear the wind and all that, and just the silence that you hear, like, it just speaks out, and it hits you. Like, it really hits you. Like, it almost hit me, especially with that ending scene where she's doing a ritual, and it's silence. All you hear is the wind, nothing else, and it's showing scenes of uh Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, and different scenes. Like, it almost got me. I'm not gonna lie, that ending almost got me. I was, like, close to, like, breaking out. And I was like so close to breaking out, and just the silence and having those scenes with him, and just the overall feeling and emotion behind it was amazing, and just a nice tribute to him. Like, it just almost got me. It really did. And going on to the mid credit scene, like, we get the mid credit scene to where we find out that T'Challa had a son, and it's like, it hits you, and it's like, because the son comes out with Nakia, and she brings out her son, and then he's like saying, "My name is Toussaint, but my real name is T'Challa." son of King T'Challa, and it just hits you, man. It just hits you. It just hits you, and it's like it's just, I don't know. It just hits you in emotion behind it, and it's like it's amazing. Honestly, it's amazing. Just able to the story they were able to do with this movie, the tribute they were able to do to Chadwick Boseman, and they did such an amazing job with this movie. Like I love this movie. Like I was watching this movie, and while watching this movie, I was enjoying it. And by the time it finished, I just it was a lot of emotion. I just felt a lot of emotion, and just absolutely love what they were able to do with this movie. And it was such an amazing movie. Like honestly, it's an amazing movie. Like it's amazing. Honestly, amazing, phenomenal, all that. Like they did such an amazing job and stuff like that. It's like I don't know, like phenomenal, amazing. All those words to sum up this movie was honestly pretty good. Like it's just. And one thing that people have been talking about really like the past few days that I've been hearing at least is like, oh, how do you compare these two movies? It's like, which one is better? Do you like the first one or do you like the second one? How do they compare? Which one's better? And it's like I can't really compare them. I really can't pick right now. I can't pick one. Like I can't. It's like they're kind of two different movies. Honestly, the first Black Panther movie was amazing. I love it. It's one of my favorites, and it's like a different story to like this Black Panther movie. Um, so it's like I can't really compare them right now. Honestly, I can't really pick one that's better than the other right now, and it's like hard to even think about it too, to even compare and to pick one that's like the definitive one that's better and stuff like that. So I can't really do that. I can't compare them. I can't pick one right now. Like honestly, they're two kind of separate kind of movies, and it's like I can't really pick one right now. Honestly, because I love them both. Honestly, I love them both. They're honestly two of my favorites now, and it's like I don't know. I can't really compare them or pick one right now. So I can't. I really can't. There's both amazing movies on what they're able to do with their stories. Um, so I'm glad that we're able to get these movies, and I just gotta give it up to Ryan Coogler and the cast and crew, the whole team, everybody who works on these movies. They did such an amazing job with these movies of the two Black Panther movies, and this one especially is like just amazing. A tribute to Chadwick Boseman is everything you feel throughout this movie and introducing new characters and stuff like that. Honestly, Ryan Coogler, the cast, crew, everybody did an amazing job on this movie. It's amazing. It's an amazing, phenomenal movie, in my opinion. It's definitely going to be high ranking for me when it comes to Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And I absolutely love this movie. Honestly, I love this movie. It's amazing. I'm definitely going to try to see if I can watch it again because I like it so much. So yeah, it's an amazing, phenomenal movie. Everything worked for me. Well, at least the majority of stuff worked for me in this movie. A couple of things here and there, but still, majority of things work in this movie for me. So I gotta say, I love it. It's amazing, and I definitely recommend checking it out. I really do. It's amazing. But yeah. Let me know down in the comments though, before I go on too much about this, and talk about it too much. But let me know down in the comments below, what's your thoughts on this movie if you've seen it already, what you think about it. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope y'all all enjoyed it. Remember, if you want to be a part of Team Legendary, all you got to do is subscribe and turn notifications on so you know I'm posting another video. Hope you all have an awesome day, and remember, be legendary.